Hey all y'all, welcome back to Knit Tea Live. Woo! I know it feels like it's been forever, doesn't it? It's been like, because I didn't do Knit Tea Live last week. We're gonna get into all the reasons why that happened. We're gonna get all the reasons why I didn't upload a new video on this Friday. And yeah, we're gonna get all into it. It's all happening today. We got a lot to cover. In fact, we have a new topic that Jillian Eve, the spinning extraordinaire, she alerted me to a tweet. So we're gonna kind of like react to it live. Hi, Jillian. Speaking of, or Evie. But yeah, so we got a lot to go through today. A lot. So let me just do the quick. First of all, before I get too far in, gotta remember to do this at the top. Down in the description box, you will find affiliate links. Affiliate link just means that these are for shopping websites. And if you click on one of my links and you make a purchase, I might receive a small commission, and that helps support my channel and my goal of spreading the joy of knitting and crafting in general. So if you choose to use one of my affiliate links, thank you so much. I do greatly appreciate it. But I always want to make sure that I have that disclaimer at the top. So everything is above board, because oh, I forgot my mic. I'm sure you can still hear me, but the audio can be better. Oh my gosh. We're gonna go like real ratty with this today. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, got my mic. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm a little discombobulated this morning, truth be told, because I'm just out of my rhythm. I'm out of my rhythm when it comes to YouTube. But we'll get into all the reasons why. So hopefully you can now hear me better. Make sure that, yes, okay. So yes, want to make sure I have that disclaimer out of the way, because we want to make sure that is all above board, because that is important. What else? And please, if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. Liking videos, sharing videos, interacting with me here on the platform, leaving comments, whether it's right here, live, during the chat, or if you're watching this on replay, down in the conversation area, comments, helps YouTube know that this is a space worth checking out. YouTube probably needs a little reminder, because I have not been as consistent as with loading and things like that, because for reasons that we will get into. So today, for the live stream, we will be going over things that have changed and things that have not changed. And by that, I mean, I'm going to tell you about the life changes that are going on with me that is affecting the channel. But I will also be sharing with you some fun stuff that came in the mail. A little bit like, it's opened, but we're going to have you're going to get a pretty good initial reaction to what I'm going to show you. Okay? So it's not quite an unpacking. Is that what those videos are? Doesn't matter. I'll show you where I am with my February knit along project. I'm not as far along as I wish I was. I'm just going to be honest up front. So we'll have that. Then we're going to get into a little bit of conversation about the website that I don't want to name, but keeps coming up because it's big in the knitting world and crafting world, crochet world, and that is Ravelry. Yes, there's some new things with Ravelry, so we'll just touch on that, and then we might talk about a very interesting conversation that is developing on Twitter as we speak. And we will get to some fiber happenings, because I have not updated fiber happenings yet for this weekend. There's good reasons why, but I'm going to show you what new things there are. So we will cover fiber happenings, and sometime today I will get that updated. So why am I so behind on everything? What is going on? There's no new video upload. Fiber happenings not updated. What the heck, Carrie? Why does it all seem like... Well, first of all, let me take a sip of coffee, because my mouth is getting dry. take a deep breath and go, and slow down because I'm probably rushing a little bit. Okay, so here's what's going on. The long and short of it is I got a job. I got a job. That's the short version. You're like, great. Okay, so this is what happened. I work freelance in reality television. I've been what's called a story producer or a supervising story producer in reality television for many, many, many moons now. Most of my adult life, I've worked in reality television, truth be told. And I'm a freelancer. And what I do specifically in terms of reality television is I work in post with the editors. I am basically a writer. I watch a whole lot of raw footage. Okay, so much. But I watch it and I look at it and I say, what the heck story can we make out of this? Or what story is there in this that we need to bring out? And I work with editors on doing that. So that's basically my career path for the past umpteenth years. In the end of 2019, end of August, beginning of September 2019, I wrapped my last season of I Am Jazz, which is a show on TLC about a teenage transgender girl, Jazz Jennings. I worked on 7 seasons of that show. And we did our final season, and at the end, I was burnt out. It happens. And so I was like, you know what? I just need to put a pause, take a little break. And during that time is when I started my YouTube channel. The break went on much longer than anticipated because COVID, pandemic hit. And the upshot is I didn't work for over a year, which was, yes. Thank you, Samantha, and welcome. So yeah, that's beginning of the year. If you've been following me, you know that it looked like I was going to get a story producing job, and that fell through at the last minute, and I was kind of bummed about that. But even when that happened, there was something in me that said, there's something else out there for you. There's something else, somewhere else you're meant to be. You're meant to be elsewhere, saint elsewhere. And that happened. And as often happens when you are a freelancer, it all happened very quickly, and it all happened at once. Also, I should mention, my husband is also in the entertainment industry. My husband works in the camera department in scripted television. He's what's called a first AC, a first assistant camera. His job entails actually running a camera department if he's the first AC, or the lead first AC. But his main job is to full focus. His main job is to pull focus. In scripted television, in the camera department, there's 3 main camera. There's the director of photography. They light everything. They direct the lighting of everything. You have your camera operator who frames the photo. They operate the camera to do the framing, but you have a third person, a focus puller, who actually keeps everything in focus. So yes, in scripted television, it takes 2 people to shoot, just to shoot. My husband is the focus puller. You need to be very calm as a focus puller. My husband is very calm. I am not. Anyway. I'm a producer. I am a producer. I tell people what to do. I'm very good at that. Anyway, so I got a call for a job, and my husband got a call for a job, a 3-day job, all to start last week. And so last week was very much, this past week, taken up with me going on this new show, my husband going off to work on what's called a pilot presentation. It's an industry thing. And we also have a toddler to take care of, so we were able to find a nanny who was very COVID serious. She'd been recently tested. We knew she was safe. We could trust her with our daughter. So I was working with home, having a nanny, taking care of a toddler. If you're sitting there going, okay, I see why maybe you didn't have time to edit and you didn't have time to update the website, I get it. Yes, that is why. So, my husband's job was just a 3-day job. my job is going to be going on for a few weeks. I have yet to figure out exactly how I'm going to keep the YouTube channel going while I'm working on my job. But I am committed to making it happen one way or another. Because I love my YouTube channel. I need my YouTube channel. This feeds my soul. So I'm figuring it out right now, how to rearrange the balls that I'm juggling in my life to make all of this happen. So please, thank you for your patience and bearing with me as I figure this out. I do have 2 videos shot ready. One I just started editing, so I am hopeful that I will have a new video up on this upcoming Friday, and it's going to be a matter of figuring out how often I do live streams. If it gets cut back where maybe I alternate between doing a live stream one week and upload the next week, or if I cut back to live streams once a month and try to get more uploaded videos done. I have noticed that the YouTube algorithm tends to prefer promote more uploaded videos. So anyway, I'm figuring that out. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience as I told you all of this. But yeah, it's a little peek into my life. That is what is going on. And it's so interesting because the chat is showing up on the screen before here. Evie says, love you, love your content, whatever it looks like through the changes, I'm here for you. Oh, thank you, Evie. You are so sweet and so supportive. And I'm so grateful to all of you who come to my live streams and have been so supportive of me. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for this and for you who joined me in this journey I've been on. And oh my God, I got so cheesy there. Sorry, it's such a thing in reality television when we have cast say on this journey, and whenever I say it, I'm like, there's a reality bite. By the way, funny story. This is not knitting related. Years and years ago, I had a roommate, and she was on this reality show back when there was Fit TV, if you remember that little Discovery Channel. It was a weight loss show. And there was going to be this big reveal, and she asked me to go to it. And it was a group of friends. The concept was a group of friends losing weight together, and the big reveal was going to happen at one of the friends' birthday parties. So I was like, of course I'll show up. Of course. I show up, and there's one part where we're waiting for the reveal to happen, and I'm standing there with a couple of friends of the person whose birthday it is, and we're talking, and we're like, they're telling me about her journey, and I'm like, gosh, what a great present to herself. And as soon as I said it, and I knew the cameras were there, I could feel the cameras there. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, that's going in the cut. I just made their day. It was such a reality thing to say. But anyway, so yes, that is a fun little story about me and my life and my life's journey. Yeah, I've had random appearances on TV, very random. But okay, deep breath. So that's what's going on with my life. We will make it happen. Carrie Craft Geek is not leaving YouTube. I'm very excited actually because I am about 150 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. So we'll see if I can make it there before the summer. So anyway, moving on, let's get into some fun stuff. I hit what's changes going in my life. Let me show you what came in the mail about a week and a half ago. Oh my gosh, you're not gonna believe this. It's like, so as you know, I have talked about trying out 9-inch circulars, and I found this. These are, oh, that's my overhead. Let me bring up my overhead. So these are Chiagu twists. These aren't the red cable, but these are the Chiagu twist, and these are interchangeables for 9 and 12-inch circular needles. So I am going to try out 9-inch circulars. This was a little treat to myself when I got hired onto that job. I've been wanting to try 9-inch circulars, and I'm opening the package for the first time right now. And I just looking inside what I can see through the plastic, I'm scared. I'm like, what was I thinking? What am I getting myself into? Anyway, so here are the needles. This is for the 9-inch circular, I'm pretty sure. Look how tiny that needle is. Look how tiny that is. That is like, can you focus? Focus. Focus, camera. It's not focusing. It's so tiny. It's so tiny. Here, let me move this. Can you see it? No, we need the white. Okay. It's so tiny. Here, I have a ruler here. Let's measure it real quick. Because that's got to be like 1.5 inches, maybe. 2 inches? It's 2 inches. From screw to tip, it's 2 inches. I don't think my normal way of knitting is going to work. This tip. I think I'm gonna have to switch to an overhand grip. I don't think I'm gonna be able to knit. Oh my god. It's so, like, I knew it'd be a tiny tip. I knew that. I just didn't know until I saw it. So it comes with this pack comes with this 2-inch tip, and then there's this tip, and I think, is this 3 inches or 4 inches? This is 3 inches. This is a 3-inch tip. So it comes with a 2-inch, this pack came with a 2-inch tip and a 3-inch tip. The 3-inch tip, I probably could do my pencil grip. There's no way. But I think I have to use the 2-inch in order to do a 9-inch circular. So I'm gonna have to switch my grip if I use this tip. I mean, I can. I do sometimes switch to an overhand grip, even when I knit throwing or my more typical way of with lever knitting. There are certain times where I will change my grip to an overhand. And when I first learned to knit, I used an overhand grip. But yeah, these are the cables. So they're very flexible. Now this, I know, like the famous Chiagu cable is the red one with no memory, but this feels like the same material to me. It's just a blue. I actually like the blue. I think it's really pretty. I like blue. And yeah, the cables aren't the same length. Is there any markings? Okay. So this is this says it's 5 inches. And this one's 6 inches. I think that must be the actual length of the cable. Usually with interchangeable needles, the cables will be labeled with the length accounting for the needle tip. So from tip to tip, right? But it looks like Chiagu here has labeled the actual length of the cable itself, which that's good because then you actually know what length you're creating with these different tips. Whitney, interesting to know what you think. I do like them because I've been working with them for a bit to get used to them, and it's really fast to knit up a sock. Yeah, I'm not going to be knitting up a sock. Is this it? Yeah. I'm not going to be knitting up a sock with these. I got size 6, so I'm probably going to do another fingerless glove because I love me some fingerless gloves. And I know like a size 6 needle with worsted weighted yarn gets me a size that I like. So I'm going to probably do a glove. But yeah, Jillian, I have the Luette collage squares in 9-inch circulars. I'm so excited to see you try these. Yes. Whitney, I love Chiagu needles. Yeah, I mean, Chiagu needles are very good. It's so funny. I have so many sets of interchangeable needle sets, right? Like, I did an epic review of them. I've got like 6 or 7, but I don't have Chiagu. I have the Hayahayas, but I have, right here, I have the fixed Chiagu. And look, I get it with the cable. I get why people are so excited about this cable. This here. Because, the cable is amazing. There's no memory. You don't have to worry about this, getting kinked up at all. And I do like knitting with this. I'm finding that I'm using this fixed circular quite a bit when I'm doing swatches for videos. So could I see myself one day maybe going ahead and investing in Chiagu interchangeables as well. I don't need them, but probably. But actually, now that I have them both here, the red feels maybe a little bit more flexible than the blue one. The blue feels a little stiffer, but I mean, these are such small cables. Yeah, the blue is stiffer than the red one. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, but it's a really good needle. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Chiagu is a really good needle. But I think in terms of fixed circulars, metal needles, they're all about the same to me. It's like comparing Addy, Haya, Chiagu, even Knitter's Pride. I think in terms of a fixed needle, I like Addies because they're so fast. I've never found a needle faster than an Addy, but I think all of them in a fixed needle like this, the joint is smooth, the cable. I mean, the cable is what makes the Chiagu special, in my opinion. But yeah. Whitney, you should get them, haha. Such enablers. Crafters, we're all such enablers. A few months ago, Evie was on Twitter going, oh, I might be able to get this spinning wheel. Do I need another one? I was like, go get it. Go get it, girl. So yeah. So yes, I will be trying these out. I will be trying out a tiny 9-inch circular. I will be doing that on camera, at least with my overhead. Oh, excuse me. I got a little gunky. And we will see how that goes. I will tell you my thoughts because I admit I am very skeptical with my style of knitting if I will enjoy a 9-inch circular. I suspect that 9-inch circulars definitely make more sense if you have an overhand grip and not so much a pencil grip like I use, or a knife grip, which is the overhand grip. But at the same time, I don't know, there's always part of me that's suspected that continental knitters might like the 9-inch circular more than English knitters. I don't know why. I just have that instinct. So yeah. But we're going to put this away for now. Wow, that was heavy. Sorry. Ooh. This 2-inch needle is weighty. Like, it just occurred. In fact, the 2-inch needle feels heavier than the 3-inch needle. That's so interesting. I wonder if, because Chiagu makes their needles out of stainless steel, but I don't know if they're hollow or not. And I wonder if these are the 2-inch tip is definitely heavier than the 3-inch tip. That's so interesting. But there's a marked difference between the weight. Do I have a scale near me? Oh, I don't. I don't think I do. Or is it down here? Just a second. I'm going to see if I have a scale within reach. I might. Let's see. I have a scale. Does it have a battery? Oh, it turned on. Yay. Okay, let's see. Let's see what the scale says. All right. So I want to put both tips. This is the 0.3 ounces. All right. The two 2-inch tips are 0.3. And the two 3-inch are 0.1 ounces. Ooh. Interesting. That's interesting. Gram. 3 grams for the 3-inch and 8 grams for the 2-inch. So interesting that the 2-inch weigh more. Anyway, well, that was an unexpected little, like, fun experiment. Weighing the needles. Never know what's gonna happen on live stream. That's what makes it fun. I'm on fire. Oh, good. Oh, nice. I just noticed the back of the packaging does give the lengths, like what cable to use with what needle to create which lengths, which is really handy. I don't have to do the math myself. I mean, it's simple addition. I could totally handle it. I'm like not that bad with math. Actually, I'm good with math. Knitting made me better at math. But yeah. So we're going to try these out. That will be an upcoming video. Samantha, I wonder if the larger one is hollow while the smaller ones are solid stainless steel. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, Samantha. I think that the 2-inch, I'm wondering if they made it more solid because it's so small. If there were, and it's a size 6 needle, I wonder if there were concerns about it easily getting bent or something if it was hollow. But that was my thinking as well, is that the 2-inch, for whatever reason, is solid, whereas the 3-inch is hollow. But I don't know the answer to that. I might have to see if I can. Oh wow! Sorry, I was just looking at the key for the needles to tighten that down because Chia Goose uses a screw system, and it's pointed. Like this is like not a dull point. You could use this as for some thick material, but you gotta be careful with this because that's pointed. That's like this is like an actual T-pin. Because they give you 2, which is nice. Floats. Evie, well now I want to see if one floats. I know, right? I can't get to water fast enough. And we're not going to do it in the coffee. Maybe I could put that as part of my video. We all float down here. Hello there, welcome. So glad you're here with us today. So what next? Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick. I have not completed anything this month in terms of projects. Nothing. I was going to get my mirror gloves completed, but alas, life happened. Job came on suddenly, and also I have to finish reading a book for a book club. I'm in a book club. And normally I listen to audiobooks as I was knitting, but for whatever reason, this book, I decided I'm going to actually read it. I'm going to read words off of, well, not paper, but a Kindle. And our meeting is tomorrow, and so I got to finish the book. So I haven't done a lot of knitting this past week. Just haven't. But I'll show you where I'm at. I finished the first glove. I mean, as in I cast it off. I need to weave in the ends. I need to wash it. But I got the second glove going, so I will finish it. And I'm going to just keep, if you've been following along or been a part of the Mirror Glove Knit Along on my Fiber group, Knits Where It's At on Mighty Network, I'm going to just keep it open until I finish the gloves. So, yeah. But yeah, this is where I'm at with it. I started the gusset yesterday. So there's the gusset started. One of the reasons that I like knitting, hey, why don't I try switching my camera? There we go. Here it is. I'll bring it up closer. This blue is so dark. It doesn't show up great on the live stream. It's so pretty though. It's so pretty. But yeah. And the yarn is the Cascade 220 Superwash, and I am up to the thumb gusset here. And the one thing I do like about, or not the one thing, I think one of the reasons I like knitting gloves, mittens, etc. on double-pointed needles is the thumb gusset I can put on its own needle. And it just, double points works really nicly with gloves in terms of organization and using the needle itself as sort of place markers. When I wrote the pattern, I did use the whole thing of like place a marker and blah 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 for a pattern. And I don't actually place markers. I divide up my work to the needle normally. That's what I try to anyway. It doesn't always work. Depends on the pattern. But this pattern, it works. So that's where I'm at. And really, if I just sat down for a good chunk of time, like maybe 4 hours, I probably would get it done. I definitely could get it. If I just sat down and I knitted pretty much this for a day, I could pretty much get this done. But I'm just not there. I really should have it done by next weekend. And also, I am going to, at least on the overhead, I may not do a full, like, makeup face video, but at least on the overhead, shoot me finishing up the thumb and how I go about doing that. Because much like with socks, heels are kind of the challenging area with socks. With gloves and mittens, the thumb, and if you're doing gloves, the fingers, is the challenging part of the knitting. And admittedly, it's the part that I still feel like I haven't perfected. But I've come up with some things that have helped me. There, I have just one thumb to finish on my pair. Yay! Good job. Yeah. Back when I was making my way through the master hand knit program, I've talked about that before, how I started that program but never finished it. But the project for the level 1, the final project, was to knit this mitten. Oh my god, I knitted this mitten so much because I just wasn't ever satisfied. I did it so many times trying to get it like perfect, which was ridiculous. Which was a ridiculous thing to try. I did finally get to the point where I was like, this is, like, I have, like, I think I had at least 10? I think I knit at least 10 of these things. And I finally got to one where I'm like, this is the one that I will send. But then I never finished the program because there's a whole lot of writing involved, and I ran out of steam, and I didn't want to write it all up. I didn't want to write a paper. I was like, you know what? I don't need a certificate telling me I'm a master at hand knitting. I think I'm pretty good. So, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot through that process. I have no regrets. I just realized I loved the learning aspect of it. I loved the aspect of finding out, going more in depth on technique and why you do the things that you do. I credit that going through that level 1 for me even doing this YouTube space. But I realized I didn't want to write papers. I didn't want to write papers about it. Just didn't want to do that. And I'm allowed. I'm allowed to make those decisions in my life. Okay, so that's kind of what things are for me. Things that have changed, I got a job. Things that have not changed, I'm still working on the mirror glove and have no finished projects for the month. Sorry, I got a little schmutz there on my white cloth. Let's talk. Let's get to it. Let's just quickly talk about Ravelry. The website that continues to disappoint. So what happened this week? What happened this week was I was on the Twitters, which I often am. And if you really want to, like, keep up to date pretty much on things that are happening all the time with me, not just with the channel, but just stuff, I'm very active on Twitter. But I gotta get, here we go. I came across this tweet, and before I bring it up, I gotta make sure I go here, and I want to make sure that I actually have it up, and I'm gonna bring this up on screen. There we go. All right. And it said, oh, can I just move it without crashing everything? There we go. Here we go. I'll keep making this offer if Ravelry keeps clinging to claims from a random doctor with unknown qualifications for this particular issue. I offer my services as a nuclear physics PhD to say Ravelry is causing real harm. Actually, I'm going to click on this. And what started this off was actually this tweet from, which said, great to see that Ravelry's Wikipedia page is being repeatedly edited to make sure it continues to say that the issues with the site redesign are all psychosomatic. And let's see if I can bring up this picture. There it is. And let's see, can I zoom in here? There we go. And this is what the Wikipedia page kept saying from the redesign, about the redesign. So this is from the Ravelry Wikipedia page about 3 or 4 days ago, and what it said about New Rav, the redesign. In 2020, Ravelry implemented a site redesign which drew significant complaint from users who stated that the new layout triggered a variety of neurological symptoms, including photosensitive epilepsy, migraines, and vertigo. After analyzing the issue, Psychology Today described Ravelry as an ordinary website with no flashing lights or obvious features that should cause health issues, and concluded that the user complaints were most likely the result of mass suggestion and the redefinition of various ailments as Ravelry related. So, yeah. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know who put that entry in. I don't know who edited the Wikipedia page for Ravelry to make that statement. I suspect, this isn't alleged, this is speculation on my part, that it was people involved with Ravelry. That's my suspicion. Just a suspicion. I have no proof. Just a suspicion. But there's so much wrong with that entry. First of all, the main problem with that entry was that it basically categorically claims that Psychology Today, as an institution, is saying, yeah, Ravelry is fine, and these reports of these issues are fine, are, like, not real. It's all in people's head, which... And it basically is a form of mass hysteria. And that people who would have had a headache or a migraine anyway are chalking up to Ravelry because they heard something about it, and, it's not real. And if, I'm going to emphasize, if it was somebody at Ravelry who was putting this out there, who was putting that on the Ravelry Wikipedia page, I think that really shows once and for all that Ravelry has never taken the reports, the accessibility issues with New Ravelry seriously enough. Back when everything was happening, of course, there were the customer service emails that went out to people and said, yeah, no, this is real. I'm summarizing. But then Jess had her blog post where she said, those weren't appropriate, that email shouldn't have gone out. No, of course we at Ravelry take this seriously. Yes, of course we're going to consult with experts on how to make sure our website is safe. I'm summarizing again. And I just feel like, were they ever really? I mean, yes, they did all the surveys, but those surveys were incredibly flawed. And it always has felt like the Herdwick, I know if you don't know all these issues that have been going on with Ravelry, this might all sound like code to you right now, but I'm going to assume if you're here on the live stream, you know this because I've been talking about this for ages now. Longer than I ever thought I would. But I just think that Wikipedia entry if I don't know, this is speculation, but if that Wikipedia entry was by somebody at Ravelry, it just underscores that everything that they were doing in terms of the surveys and coming up with the Herdwick skin was an attempt to kind of whitewash the situation, and that there was never a serious attempt to look at what was causing these problems, because yes, there are problems with accessibility and Ravelry that continue to this day. Fair. Did they ever follow through with working with people who make safe web pages? That's a great question. I have no idea. By the way, something to keep in mind is that they are ending Classic Rav at the end of March. I don't know the exact day yet, but at the end of March, Classic Rav goes away. And all that will be left is Herdwick and the original one with the horrible, dark, jarring drop shadows. Evie, I'm going to bring a copy of Psychology Today to my next neurologist appointment. I'm sure my doctor will appreciate the education. Yes, well, and we are going to get to that next, by the way, about the Psychology Today article that was referenced. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to search through my memory bank on all of this. when they released Herdwick, they said, that they had done this very thorough survey to figure out like how they could create a skin that would work for people so you could personalize the website to avoid problems. They have never, as far as I know, have never said that they consulted with somebody who is an expert on website accessibility. There was a letter from designers that was signed and sent to Ravelry asking them to say that commit to hiring an outside consultant to help them with these issues and to say who it was. And Ravelry never, as far as I know, never said that they were willing to commit to that. And I suspect, this again, a suspicion, that they have not. At least not seriously. In fact, what they said, I just remember this. What the last thing I remember them saying was that they were trying to find someone that they could work with on a more regular basis. So they intimated they were on the search for a consultant, but they never, as far as I know, came out and said that they found one or worked with one. Yeah. But there is some good news, because there were various attempts to edit the page. I don't know what all those edits looked like. Fair. Yeah, never mind the actual neurologists and people who are familiar with epilepsy. Right. So here's what the Wikipedia page now says, and it is an improvement. So let me get to that, and we'll blow this up before I bring it up on screen. Unfortunately, because of I don't want to crash the stream, I can't preview what I'm about to bring up before I bring it up, because when I've done that in the past with desktop share, it's crashed. Okay, so I'll read it to you, but here it is. This is what it now says as of today. In 2020, Ravelry implemented a site redesign which drew significant complaint from users who stated that the new layout triggered a variety of neurological symptoms, including photosensitive epilepsy, migraines, and vertigo. After analyzing the issue, but not having examined any of the users, Robert Bartholomew, a medical sociologist, I didn't even know that was a thing, published a blog post on Psychology Today describing Ravelry as an ordinary website with no flashing lights or obvious features that should cause health issues, and concluded that the user complaints were most likely the result of mass suggestion and redefinition of various ailments as Ravelry related. The Epilepsy Foundation noted that visual patterns such as stripes of contrasting colors could trigger a seizure and specifically mentioned Ravelry as a potential issue. So that is what the Wikipedia page now says, and I think that is far more accurate and informative. And it also brings to light the real problem with that original Wikipedia entry, which is that it wasn't even written by a neurologist. You had he's a medical sociologist. I don't know what that is. I might just Google that as I talk. But it wasn't a neurologist who wrote the article. It wasn't a psychiatrist. It wasn't a psychologist. And it was a blog post. This was not like a thorough study that was done by Psychology Today. And I'm just Googling medical sociologist real quick. Okay. Oh, I'm going to bring this up. This is hysterical. Here we go. We'll bring up the Wikipedia page of this. Here, I'll bring it up so you can see it as I read it. Here we go. All right, medical sociology is the sociological analysis of medical organizations and institutions, the production of knowledge and selection of methods, the actions and interactions of healthcare professionals, and the social or cultural, rather than clinical or bodily, effects of medical practice. Guys, people. Let me use the non-gender term here. People. A medical sociologist, according to the Wikipedia page, I don't know everything, but according to that, doesn't have a background in diagnosing people with neurological disorders. What the F? Like, WTF, Wisco Tango Foxtrot. What? What was that guy doing writing a blog post for Psychology Today claiming that people were not actually being adversely affected by New Rap? Like, the white male caucasity of it all. Really, I'm going off book, I'm going into speculation, but it just screams white dude who looks at something like crafting and knitting and thinks, oh, it's women, and so don't have to take that seriously, because those women, they're so crazy. Just like, what the F? What the F? And people at Ravelry have been using that blog post to claim that nothing has really gone on. Allegedly. Allegedly, people at Ravelry have been using that blog post as kind of this weapon to point to and say, look, there's nothing wrong with New Rav. There's this blog post. There's this article in Psychology Today. This is Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, okay? Okay. Evie, it is still gross too, because even if symptom has a psychosomatic cause, it is still a real symptom. Exactly, Evie. Exactly. Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Hi, Carrie from the United Kingdom. Hello, Sarah. Welcome. By the way, I'm going to just tell you right now, today's live stream's going long. We're going long. We got a lot to catch up on. As long as you're in, I'm in, okay? It's not going to go that long, okay? We're not going to go on for hours and hours. But I think this is probably... Well, and I did get started late, so it's going to go a little long today. But anyway. Bear, it's all in your head. Yes, of course. It's a neurological condition. Of course it's all in your head. This is something, though, that... Because actually, we're talking a little bit about this on Twitter yesterday in relationship to the pandemic and women's health. Because obviously... everybody has struggled during this period of time. This has been a very difficult time in the world. I'm not taking anything from anyone. But how women have been affected is in a very particular way. The way I have described it, and of course, hashtag not all men, of course, that goes without saying, but I will say it anyway. But what I've seen anecdotally from just friends and such is, women have given up their careers. They're expected to work from home while also taking care of their kids. And I've had several friends who have talked about how their husbands have been melting down because trying to work from home and have the kids there. And the thing is, it's like, the way I described it was, women have been melting down. But when women melt down, we have to melt down in such a way where we are like gas. And we just keep thinning ourselves out to fill the void. Right? And then when we finally have that moment of just like, we can't take anymore, we're then treated to the fun, we seek help. We're then treated as though women are just so emotional. And what they're feeling or what they're going through or what they're experiencing is just, it's not real. It's just a feeling. And that's not true. And yes. But yeah, that happened. And I think it's very revealing. And I think it just confirms what we've pretty much, those of us who've been in kind of the hashtag off-rav side of crafting, who've been steeped in this sort of suspected, which is that Ravelry never took these claims seriously. I don't think. That's my feeling, that's my impression, and I think it's a shame. Now, that being said, and I'm going to say this, even though I am not a Ravelry fan now, I still stand by their decision in 2019. And I will not cotton to, I will not make space for people who try to use these issues with Ravelry and accessibility as a way of going, see, we told you all along they were terrible because of what they did in 2019. I'm not here for that conversation. Okay? That is because the two things are not related, because the world is complex, people are complex, people can do the right thing in one circumstance and then do the wrong thing in another circumstance. And that's Ravelry. So yeah. So if anybody has anything left to say about Ravelry, we'll wrap this up. But yeah, I'm sorry. That just that catches in my craw. That is just like a little pebble that's going to roll around in my brain for a while, that some medical sociologist had the temerity to dismiss all of these people who have had migraines and vision strain and vertigo and all sorts of issues from new Rav, and just mass hysteria. Mass hysteria, not real. Nothing wrong. Like, who the F are you? What are your credentials to make that claim? And when somebody does something, it's so irresponsible, because when somebody does something like that, it makes it harder for people when they seek help to be taken seriously. If you're not a neuroscientist, if you're not a neurologist, you shouldn't be going on to Psychology Today making claims about the safety of a website in terms of neurological conditions. You just shouldn't. It's not responsible. It's irresponsible. It's the white male caucasity of it all. Evie, yes, an emotionally mature adult, I can recognize nuance. Yay, 2019. Boo, 2020. Not the same. Exactly. Exactly. And also, this is just kind of an aside in terms of that, because I did two uploaded videos about Ravelry. The first one is Ravelry Unraveling. Early on, I got a comment from somebody along the lines of, oh, well, of course, they're so awful what they did in 2019. And I made a decision at that moment of, my YouTube channel is a space that I am responsible for, and I am responsible for moderating any conversations that may happen on that space. And I was like, this is not a conversation I want to moderate. It is not a conversation I want to have. It's not a conversation I want to moderate. So I'm just going to make my stance very clear about the whole thing right up front, and let people know that if they want to have that conversation, they need to do it elsewhere. And trying to have that conversation in my space, sorry, it's just making me laugh, the old networking site, but wanting to have that on my YouTube channel, it's not the space for it. And that's not a censorship, that's a boundary. People don't like it when you have boundaries for them. Let's just leave it at that. But I will say, again, if you're watching this on the replay, this channel is not to have a conversation about what Ravelry did in 2019, necessarily. If you want to say, yeah, what they did in 2019, let me put it this way. If you want to attack Ravelry because they kicked off MAGA projects from their platform in 2019, not in my space. You can go complain about that elsewhere, because that was the right thing to do, in my opinion. But this YouTube channel is my space, so my opinion is my opinion, and I get to hold to that. And no, I don't need to have a conversation about it. Thank you. I've thought long and hard about it. I'm good. Okay, so I'm gonna close that. Next up, just get to it real quick. Make sure. Okay. Good thing I bookmarked stuff today. So, Evie alerted me to this thread, and I'm very much going to be giving a knee-jerk reaction, because literally I saw this just as I was getting ready to get on for live stream. But I thought it was really interesting, and I thought it was really relevant to myself. Evie, I applaud you for that. Oh, thank you, Evie. Thank you. But yeah, here it is. And I wanted to know people's reaction and thoughts to it, because I just think it's very interesting about this. There you go. Okay, so here's the tweet. I'm currently running my third knit along / crochet along of my own design since Christmas. I'd love some awareness. Can't afford to pay a huge influencer to share. Just going alone for now. Community sharing would be so helpful for us all right now. Happy to share any knit alongs, any cows / or mals in 21. And I just thought this was so interesting. I'm sorry. Let me read the tweet that this was in response to. I'm so organized right now. Let me close that. I'm so tired of nearly every single knit along by a podcaster or suggestion by an LYS being for a pattern by a massively popular designer like Maori or Stephen West, or whatever. There are so many great designers who are less well known and who deserve a boost from people with bigger audiences, which I totally agree with, by the way. And then the person made the comment about not being able to pay. And first of all, let me just say, I don't know if there is a lot of designers paying craft influencers or podcasters to pump out their wares. I don't know. Myself, I can talk about myself here. I have never been paid by anybody, but I'm very small potatoes. Like, I'm not even at 1,000 subs right now. I have a little community growing, and it's amazing, but I'm not a big name in this space by any stretch of the imagination. I should be bigger. No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm exactly kidding. Anyway, but yeah, I'm sure it happens. Well, I shouldn't say sure. I would not be surprised if that happens. I tend to think a lot of times the bigger names like Maori or West or whomever tend to get thrown around a lot because they are big names. People know them, they're aware of their work, and also there is a trust value there. Like, like the pattern is well written, it'll be tech edited, all the things that you want a pattern to be before you recommend it will be there. So it's that name recognizability things where it's like, the name, you can trust the name, therefore you throw out the name. But yeah, I find it very interesting if influencers are being paid to basically plug various designers, and if they were being paid, that's something that should be disclosed. Like, that's something that should be disclosed because that's paid advertising at that point. But Carrie Westerman, and she kind of had the same question I did, which is, does the knitting community have influencers that demand pay to promote? Is this news only to me? And again, I'm kind of in the same boat, which is this news only to me? News only to me? Yeah, let's see. Samantha, I have seen designers gift copies of designs to influencers, and the influencers mention it on their channel as incoming. Yes, that's true, and that's part of PR, part of doing public relations for your work is to give your stuff for free to people who can influence others. Like, I would love to buy all the patterns. I can't afford to buy all the patterns. So a lot of times when I'm looking at patterns, I have to just kind of go based off of pictures and what is said in the description to see if it's something that may or may not be worth looking at. I'm very much in the same shoe then as the average shopper. But if somebody were to gift me, send me their pattern to work and try out to see if I would want to recommend it, I would not say no to that. But when I did recommend it, I would absolutely disclose that it was received basically in PR, so that people understood how that came about. Because then you can judge what's being said. I guess this conversation is interesting to me in the sense that my entree into YouTube was the beauty space. I started watching makeup videos and makeup reviews because I love makeup. I actually consider it one of my crafts. But anyway, and that's been a big thing in the beauty space for a long time, is how are influencers being paid? Are they disclosing that they received things in PR? Now there are a whole slew of FTC regulations about disclosing all of this stuff. In fact, the reason now at the top of my videos, within the first couple minutes, I have this whole spiel about affiliate links is because of the FTC. Because the FTC requires that if you are an affiliate with a website that you disclose that to people, which is fine. Like, there's no big deal. But anyway, yeah. Whitney, it's news to me. Hello, Lisa. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Sam, agreed. Same. BeautyTube was first before I discovered crochet knitting. Yeah. And I mean, I still enjoy it. I don't watch it as much as I used to. I've curated that stream quite a bit, but I still enjoy. I had to stop watching the reviews a little bit because I was getting overwhelmed. I was like, I can't try another foundation. I found my foundations. Okay, I need a break. There's too many. I don't need any more neutral palettes with a pop of blue or purple or green. Like, I got plenty. I got plenty of neutral palettes. I have more palettes than most people, probably. I don't have as many palettes as a beauty influencer has, not by a long stretch. But I have more palettes than the average person needs, for sure. I love them all, though. I love them all. I just had to stop buying them. Me too. The beauty community was really messy for a while. It's still messy. Yeah, the beauty community was very messy for a while when it came to, like, you had people who weren't disclosing that they were an affiliate and going, oh my god, this product is amazing, and it was crap. Which, such short-term thinking with that, because if you are an influencer, your influence is based in trust, and if you are then peddling crap, people are going to know that you aren't trustworthy. That's why I'm always like, my trust, like, my integrity, I will always be honest about everything. Probably too honest sometimes, but I'll be honest about things because that's how I have, you know, you can trust me. It's because I'm giving you my honest opinion about stuff. I mean, obviously most of my channel is built around tutorials, but, you know, I do reviews. And if I don't like a product, I will tell you I don't like the product. Hello, Addie Flexi Flips. But, yeah. Lisa, that's what started watching too long ago. Samantha. Yeah. I know. I think a lot of us probably started watching YouTube because of beauty stuff. And I will say, my makeup game improved like 1,000% thanks to YouTube. I wish YouTube had been around when I was a teenager, at least in terms of makeup. I would have known what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. Actually, if you want to know the truth, I didn't know what I was doing with makeup until about 5 years ago when I started watching beauty YouTube. In a way, I am Jazz to thank for that. Here's how it started. I'll tell you right now. Fun story. The way that it started was, I was working on I Am Jazz, and Jazz is very good at makeup, and her mom was doing an interview, and she was just chatting with the producers, and she was talking about how Jazz wanted to do her makeup, and she's all into it, and she's like doing baking, and I'm like, what's baking? What? So what did I do? I Googled it. I found a YouTube video, a couple of them, and that set me down the rabbit hole. Like, I went in deep. I tried baking, by the way. Not for me. That trend was not for me. But yeah, I do enjoy my makeup. Sometimes I do a look though, and I shoot a video and I look at it and I'm like, oh, you didn't do it that day. That was not your best day, Carrie. Absolutely, Lisa. I found all that makeup they promote was extremely expensive. It is. A lot of it is very expensive. The thing is, though, I will say, there are channels that will tell you the good drugstore makeup brands. Jen Loves, she does a good variety. Emily Nicole, no, not Emily Nicole. Nicole's, is it Emily Nicole? Shoot. I have to look it up. You know what? Emily Noel. Is that it? You know what? After I'm done, I will put a list of beauty YouTubers who are really good discussing drugstore brands. But yeah, the eyeshadow palettes, those get pricey. There's some good like ColourPop. There's some good like drugstore priced makeup now, even with eyeshadow palettes, that there wasn't like 3 or 4 years ago. But honestly, I stopped buying the higher end makeup because everything pretty much you can get at drugstore prices now. Anyway, YouTube gurus who teach the YouTube business strategies encourage people to charge for access to their space. Yes, they do. They do. And I see the benefit of that, but you have to get to a certain space before you can do that. But I mean, at some point you have to start monetizing. That's the thing that's difficult because, you know, all this content you put out there and it's free, but it's not free for the creator to make. It's not. It's not free. Evie, I'm thinking the marketing strategies behind this will come to the knitting space if they haven't already. People are being taught that this is the way. Yeah, I think it's totally going to make its way into the knitting space. You know, it's so interesting because there's this really interesting conversation going right now in terms of how knitting patterns are valued, the price of them basically. And I think it's really, really tough as an independent knit designer or crochet designer, pattern designer in either space to make a living at it because we undervalue the work. We don't pay full value for these patterns. We don't. And there's a lot of expectation just on the part of the casual crafter being able to find things for free. And if you can find something for free, why would you then pay for it? And it's a really tough conundrum. And, you know, they keep, every once in a while, someone's like, in sewing, nobody thinks anything about paying $20 for a pattern. And you don't. That's like fair. But I think that there is a whole tradition in the knitting world going back, way back, like centuries back, where, you know, commercial yarn companies have always used patterns not as a product to sell in and of itself, but as a marketing tool. And we are still living with that legacy, and designers are still living with that legacy, that the pattern is of little value. It is a marketing tool to sell something else, to sell yarn, to sell a tool, to sell a book, but that individual pattern itself isn't where the value is. And so, you know, I think it's really difficult if you are wanting to be a independent knit designer or crochet designer, an independent designer, to actually make a living at that. You have to supplement in some other way, whether it's teaching classes or monetizing a YouTube channel, whatever it is, you've got to find another way to do it. Yeah. Lisa, it's amazing how much things have changed even the past 5 years in all areas. Yes, it has moved fast and furious. Evie, it's the balance of funding your content to use your platform for good. Exactly. You know, it is. It's about finding that balance of what do you give for free and what do you hold back. Finding the right balance. What extras can you provide to your viewers that is of value, so that, and then the other half of it too, as a viewer, who do you want to support? And are you willing to buy the occasional coffee? See what I did there? Because I have a buy me a coffee. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I started doing probably sooner than was maybe wise, but it was me throwing spaghetti up at a wall going, why not? And fiber happenings. And the Fiber Indie List. I started those. Well, Fiber Indie List literally started on a Sunday night while I was drinking red wine. Ravelry controversy was happening. And all these designers were setting up new shops to sell their patterns so that people could have access to them who couldn't use Ravelry. And I was like, how is anybody going to find all this? I was like, let me put together a list. That's how it started. I'm like, let me put together a list. I'm drinking some wine. I sent out a tweet going, anybody, I'm going to start this list. If you want me to put your information on it, tweet me. Not the most organized way to do it. But within like a week, I had a website up doing this. And I some designers did give me a tip, but it's never been required. I've never, like, they sent me a coffee, and it was very kind and sweet of them, but nobody has to pay to be on the Fiber Indie list. Nobody has to pay to appear on Fiber Happenings. If they send me their information, I will put it up. If I find if somebody who's on the Fiber Indie list tweets or puts up on their Instagram, they have a new pattern going up, I put up that information if I'm on top of things. And yeah, that's how I've always done it. And occasionally I get a tip. I got enough tips that I was able to pay for my web domain. So that was nice. But yeah, I've gotten the occasional tip from the videos. But it's nothing, it all helps support me buying things like, tiny interchangeable needles. That's what I use my tips for. It's to help support the channel and the website. But I'm not making a living at it. Like that, yeah, that's not happening. Evie. Lisa, I was just asked by a friend how much it would cost for me to crochet a queen size blanket. Honestly, I had no idea what to tell her. Oh my god, that gets into a whole other topic. Bear, I love that problem too, Lisa. I had that problem too, Lisa. People would ask me to make little Aragumi toys, and I had no appreciation the type of yarn and amount of work I put into them. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other topic, is valuing handmade items, how they get valued. I mean, the old formula has been to basically take the price of materials and multiply it by like 3 or 4, which goes back to, as I read, like kind of an old retail practice of basically taking something that you got on for wholesale, and then you multiply it by like 3 or 4 to account for like the retail value. I forget the exact formula of it, but yeah. But here's the thing, like, okay, this is not a good example, but like my dishcloths, right? This is a bad one that I just happen to have on my desk. I have nice, pretty ones that I have made. Thank you. But I've had people who are like, "Oh, you should sell those dishcloths. People love them." And I'm like, the amount of time that I put into making a dishcloth, nobody's going to pay for that. And I did the math. I did the cost of materials times like 4. It was like, by that formula, I should charge like $2 for each dishcloth. I'm being paid then less than a penny for my time. Like, financially, it makes no sense. If I wanted to sell them, just to sell them, to get them off my hands, fine. But in terms of like, it makes no sense economically to do that. And when you do tell people how much it will cost to actually, the actual value of what they're asking you to do, they balk. They're like, I could buy that for less. It's like, yeah, you can. There's a reason why you can buy it for less. But yeah, Sam, exactly. People don't really understand how long it takes to make these things. They have no idea. And the same is true for designing a pattern. People have no clue the amount of work that actually goes into it. That goes into coming up with the idea, making various swatches for that idea, measuring those swatches, doing the math, knitting up a sample. After you've knit up the sample, writing an actual pattern takes forever. Even if it's like, it takes a while, okay? Grading, then getting that pattern, doing a test knit, hopefully being able to pay a tech editor to look at your pattern, grading a pattern. There's a reason why so many knit designers and crochet so many independent designers really focus on accessories. It's because they don't have to do as much grading. Sweaters, cardigans, things of those nature, you have to grade those patterns. Pattern grading is, coming up with the different sizes to knit. And that's a whole skill set. It's not hard, but it's a whole skill set to do it well. And so you have to sell thousands of a pattern in order to actually make a profit. Like, that's why I'm amazed by people who are making a living at being an independent designer. But, yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of the marketing stuff, like, you're seeing it already with affiliate programs. Lion Brand has an affiliate program. I know, because I'm an affiliate. KnitPicks has an affiliate program. I know, because I'm an affiliate. And, yeah, I will say, because I'm an affiliate of of nitpicks, I am motivated to use their yarn and tell people, yeah, I like it. It helps that I like the yarn. Lion Brand. When I did my acrylic review, I included Lion Brand. They happen to be an affiliate. I didn't love that yarn. I was honest with you about it. You know, but yeah, I think that the time is going to come when companies start coming to people with larger platforms or even micro influencers. Maybe I'm a micro influencer, and are going to start like doing a bit more of what you see in other YouTube spaces in terms of marketing. And that's going to be an interesting transition if it does happen big time in the crafting world. Because I think that a lot of times with the knitting and crafting industry, yes, there are the commercial brands. We all know what they are. But the perception by crafters is always that you do this out of love. You know, it's a labor of love, and therefore you really shouldn't expect to get paid. Not reasonable. Not reasonable. I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think so. Anyway, Evie, also try to explain the value of hand-spun yarn before it even hits the needles. Yes, absolutely. You know, handmade is not cheap. Don't we all love it? Don't we all love it when somebody who's not a crafter comes up to us and says, oh, you must save so much money doing it that way, doing it hand, whatever. And it's like, no. No, I don't save money doing this. If I wanted to save money knitting, I'd get a knitting machine. And even then, I probably wouldn't be saving any money. Too funny. It's so funny. But yeah. And honestly, though, I remember having this conversation very briefly with Rachie Newen about a year ago, where it's like, for independent designers, I mean, I think they're going to have to start thinking in terms of monetizing themselves as an influencer, because there's like no other way for it to be sustainable. Like, you have to have different streams. You just have to, you know? Fair. Nope. Nope. All right. So wow, we're running really late today, which is fine. This has been a great conversation. I hope you're all enjoying it as much as I am. Let's get to the pattern spotlight though. So we're gonna shift gears. But I definitely want to make sure I did this because I haven't updated fiber happenings yet. I want to. I'm going to try to get to that today. My life has been changing rapidly, that's just life. That's what happens. But I wanted to make sure that, let me close that. I have to make sure oh shoot. Did I close it? Okay, I did. I just have to get a link up first. Sorry. Dead air is so much fun to listen to, so I'll sing you a song. Yeah. Thank you all for hanging out with me this afternoon. I so appreciate it. All right, here we go. So first up, Amy Snell. Oh my gosh, teacher extraordinaire. She has been just rolling out with the new patterns lately, doing that big push, which is amazing. And here is her new sock pattern, the Wanderoo pattern, and this is so cool. It's a cable pattern, which is lovely. Unfortunately with PayHip, I can't zoom in on the photos the way I can with Etsy pages. Oh, there we go. Hopefully you can see it better. But yeah, you have this lovely cable, little cable here. I'm wondering if this is it German twist? I have to read the information to know for sure. But yeah, that's the sock. And unfortunately, I'm trying to think. This is the problem with desktop share, doing it this way, and I didn't read the description. The sibling sock to Wanderly follows a similar route, but sometimes breaks its own trail. Wanderly was the last sock pattern that Amy Snell put out. Let's see, with a new cable pattern, differing heel construction, and a longer color block on the cuff, like its sibling Wanderoo, takes us on a little adventure. This time our cables meander back and forth as though they can't quite make up their mind. That's so cute. yeah, but that's the sock. It's lovely. And yes, maybe that's a sock that I should do for my 9-inch cables. No, because I don't want to deal with a cable needle. And yes, I can cable without a cable needle, but I actually prefer using a cable needle when I'm doing cables. I think one of the reasons actually I really like doing German twist cables is because usually only involves like 1 or 2 stitches, and it's much easier to cable without a cable needle with that technique. But that is the Wonderoo from Amy Snell. Also, Amy Snell, she has another thing going on. Once a month, she does a Zoom podcast where she interviews someone, and it then replays it on YouTube. And she does this. Trying to get to this is what I want. Okay, sorry. Go back here, and then I'm gonna click. There we go. Here it is. So Amy Snell, she does this. Wouldn't it be fun? It is a video podcast and Zoom knit in. So you can join live for the Zoom, and there is a link to register for that. I will have that link in the description box after I finish the live stream. But you can see the flyer here. She interviews somebody each month. It's really fun. If you can't make it to the Zoom, you can always catch it on her YouTube channel. Also, she is getting close to 100 subs. If you have not subscribed to Amy Snell, the Devious Knitter, on YouTube, the Devious Knitter? Oh boy, I'm not doing so well at the moment. But if you haven't subscribed to her yet, please do, because she is nearing 100, and when you get to 100 subscribers, you get your own like specialized link. So please check her out and subscribe to Amy Snell. She's fantastic. Yes, the Devious Knitter. And her guest this month is going to be Betsy Hamburg of Betsy's Fiber. The Zoom takes place on Friday, March 5th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And yes, it's Wouldn't It Be Fun? I think that is so fun. Sure fun. So, one last thing for Fiber Happenings, and this is something that's a little different. This is not a new pattern release. It is called, I gotta get down back here, and we're gonna close that. And there we go. And oh, I see what I did. Okay, there we go. This is Your Adventure Begins. The Worldwide Adventures. This is the Fiber Adventure Awaits. Wool-wide adventure. The fiber craft, I'm going to just read from their website. The fiber crafts have been passed through the generations for thousands of years, celebrate the rich community, tradition, and skill of the wool community in a special online event coming in March and April. We'll explore the wonder that is wool, meet shepherds that raise it, learn techniques to craft with it, and of course the amazing sheep that grow it. Each week from March 5th through April 30th, there will be a weekly adventure and several mini treks. Weekly adventures are free and doable with nothing more than an internet connection and a little curiosity. Of course, we know you love to learn as much as we do, and that's where a mini trek allows you to explore further, try out some new things, and maybe even experience something new. First, though, make sure you hop over on Instagram and follow your host so you don't miss anything. So again, I will have the link for that if you are more interested in it. It looks like a fun event to just learn more about wool and fiber in the months of March and April. How fun. I will say it's been really interesting this past year with the pandemic, because so many things have been shut down, right? The various festivals, the conferences, everything, and yet it's amazing how people have really used the technology of the internet to keep the fiber community connected, and this looks like another amazing event for that. So I think that's really, really exciting. So be sure to check that out. Again, I was bad. I didn't get the links into the description before the video, but as soon as this wraps up, I will get those links in. So, check back in 20 minutes for all the links. I'm gonna get better about that. I promise. I'm gonna get better. Okay. The socks are so cute. They are so cute. Amy Styles socks are very cute. They're very cute. All of her designs. I think that her fizzy coasters, so adorable. So adorable. Okay. So I think that is it for today because I've gone way long today, but it was so much fun. I had a lot of fun with today's conversation. I hope that you did as well. So, what is coming up on the channel? Great question. Great question. So I have 2 videos in the can. The next video, I think, on Friday, it's not going to be knitting related. It's going to be me trying out tablet weaving for the first time. Yes, I am going to do another Carrie Does What video. I will say, just a quick preview of it. If you don't know what tablet weaving is, it's a very old form of weaving. Very old form of weaving. That instead of using like a kind of frame loom, the warps get fed through these tablets that have holes in them, and you twist the tablets in order to create the sheds, and it creates a warp facing narrow band. I've learned so much about weaving through like my experiments with tablet weaving, but yeah, and so that's the next video, is me trying out tablet weaving, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, it was both. It took 2 days. It took 2 days for me to basically get set up with it, but you will get to see the hilarity that ensued. Whitney loved the conversation today. It was a really good, packed conversation today. So that's the next video, and then I have another video coming up that's going to be a little different for me, but I'm very excited about it, but I don't want to say too much about it. But I'm very excited about this video, because it's something new that I'm trying out, that I'm excited about, but I don't want to say too much about it at the same time. Lisa, I can't wait, yes. So, I do have a couple videos in the can, and of course, I'm going to be working on this little project, trying out the 9-inch circulars. I don't know when I'm going to have a video up about it, but keep your eye out, because I'm sure this will be, like, interesting to see how I do with these. I'm scared. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of scared about trying out the 9-inch circulars. What if and I don't know if I'm more scared that I'm going to hate it or I'm going to love it. I'm not sure what I'm more scared of. Whitney, oh, can't wait either. So yeah, yes. So if you are not already, I'm going to be honest, it's not super active, but I do have a fiber community on Mighty Networks. If you'd like to join, that link is down in the description box, as well as my affiliate links, which I have talked about ad nauseum now. And if you would like, you can also leave me a coffee, or buy me a coffee, because I need coffee. And those tips always go back into the channel right now. And on the Buy Me a Coffee, you can always see my goal. I have a goal of what I'm saving up for to help either improve the website or the YouTube channel. My goal right now is to get a new web camera so I can improve my live streams. Because right now, I literally am live streaming off of my iPhone. Like, that's what I'm using. And my overhead is an older iPhone. That's what I use. But I make it work, and that's what matters most. Fair. You all should go check out the Mighty Networks. Yes. I love it to be even more active and everyone get more involved with it. And there are things that I do share on there that I do not share on other spaces. So, yeah. And it's free. But, what else? So I think I got all my cheeky plugs in. I hit the affiliates, I hit the coffee, I hit the what's coming up next week. If you have not already, please like my channel. Please like this video. If you are joining in the replay, please feel free to hop into the conversation below. If you have not already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. And I'm pretty sure that is everything. Thank you so much for joining me this week. It's been super, super fun. If you are not following me on social media, you might want to make sure that you follow me definitely on Twitter and Instagram, or, if you're on those. I also have a Facebook page. All those links are down in the description box as well. But that is where you can keep up to date on what is happening with the channel. As I said, things are kind of like, the pieces are kind of moving a little bit right now because of life changes going on with me. But I am committed to keeping this going because I loves all y'all and I love my channel. So, again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope you have a great week ahead. And as always, happy health and happy crafting. All right, bye.